Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Hours in My Library. This week, it's sort of, it's a classic in translation, recent rebinding of it, but it's got a bit of an association copy to it, which is kind of interesting, at least to me it is. Now, I'm talking about Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. This is a 3 volume set. It's been rebound in quarter leather with marbled boards. It has marbling on the edges all the way around, and just it's new end papers, but they're just plain. Now this, let's look at volume 1. That would be more helpful, probably. Volume 2, volume 1. Now, originally, this is 1862. It's the second authorized English translation, the British translation. And this is the second edition of it. It's second English printing. Now, the interesting thing is, this was owned by a Charles Sarah Lee, I'm not sure the pronunciation. You can see the signature there, and if I put that above, you can see that is his signature. Now, who was he? Well, he was a Belgian academic who taught in Edinburgh. He lived from 1870 to 1953, I think it was. And from 1918 to 1931, he held a professorship at the University of Edinburgh. Now, in 1912, he edited a magazine called Everyman for J.M. Dent. It's not quite connected to the Everyman Library, but it was a magazine that was called the Everyman. There was another sort of smaller magazine that was devoted specifically to the Everyman Library, but this was just a journal of called the Everyman, about books and everything, history, you name it. And he edited it from 1912 to for a number of years, anyway. And then it was restarted again in the late 20s. But he did the initial few years, and there was he bought it out from J.M. Dent. There is some controversy between them of some sort. I don't know the full details, but yeah. So it's quite interesting that I have, because I am a devotee, I guess you would say, of the Everyman Library, and it's really interesting to see some. It's tangentially, connected, but it's J.M. Dent, and this was part of his library, and he had a massive library. I've read where he had to purchase other buildings to house his library. It was so massive. So he's my kind of guy. But yeah, so there we go. This is the 1862 second edition. If it was the first edition, it would be worth a lot of money. As it is, second edition, not so much. But this is the second edition. It was the first English printing of this. I think there was a predated American translation of Les Miserables by months, literally, or possibly even days, by someone else, and it's sort of contemporaneous, basically. But this is the English edition, and it's nicely rebound. The tooling is not 100% the best, but it looks fine. When you look really, really close at it, you can see, but it's nicely done. And there, I don't think there's any. I don't remember ever seeing any illustrations in it. There is some foxing throughout. Well, after all, it's a bit old. But yeah, so there we go. That is this week's Hours in My Library with Les Miserables.